Now what do we got? We got Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2.
Yeah.
Whew, there was a lot in this
A
episode,
lot in
too.
this episode. I have a lot of questions about Mandalore. Now, are we going to spoil it? Well, we have to sort of say what it's about. I suppose.
We gotta talk about some spoiler review
alert
for The Mandalorian.
Spoiler
This will be a spoiler
alert.
review. Yeah, they're going
yeah.
to Mandalorian, which we knew from the trailer.
Yeah.
So Mandalore is covered in this like crystal
It looks
junk
like
or something.
Malak.
I can't remember
Right,
what
or
happened
something.
to Mandalore. We saw it in
Something-
Clone Wars.
It's got covered with this giant crystal, but you can. We see in this
We've
episode
seen-
you can get down into where the city was, and the city is underground and it's all destroyed.
I don't
and
think it
it's-
was underground before.
I don't know, or
I don't
maybe it's
think it was in
underground now
Clone
that the
Wars.
crystals have overgrown it. I don't know. Anyway, it's a mess.
I can't remember what happened to
And-
Mandalore. I just know that Mandalore fell and
There's creatures that used to live on the same planet but were far away, and now they're big, they're trolls.
the space ogres. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're now
they
rampant.
weren't that bad. They were just
well,
fought
they're
them
not
in the
bad
caves.
for a couple of tough Mandalorians. However, I don't think you or me can handle them. But
apparently the air is breathable there
yeah,
on
there's
Mandalore.
creatures
They found out.
living there. There's lots of animal life, threatening looking.
Yeah,
but
he goes there to take a bath in the
it's-
cavern in the
this
caves.
is the way.
In the mine. It was called the Mines of Mandalore.
But he would never find them. So in the end, Katie Sackhoff ends up coming and helping him.
Yeah, he gets
But
in some bad straits.
I'm kind of like confused as to why that creature was there. This robot, was that a mining creature? Like, why is that creature stuck down there?
I thought it was Krang at first. I thought it was going to come out and just be a little brain
Basically,
Krang.
It looks like a Dalek or something, and
Mhm.
it's like a hermit crab alien, and it lives in a robot body and has various robots it can go into and have it like a hermit crab, and it's quite tough, and it traps him.
It traps Din Djarin,
Yeah.
but then it
I think it could have crawled out of there. Why is it hanging out down there? I don't know.
what happens is Grogu leaves with his
Fast.
ship and gets Bo-Katan, and then Bo-Katan comes and saves them. And she's supposed to be around 50, I think, in this time of the
Something
tar
like that.
this time
She
period of
just sits
Star
around
Wars.
on her princess throne.
She just sits on the throne all the time with no one there to.
She might have like hemorrhoids or something. It's like made of stone.
Yeah, it does have a lot of pillows on it, but I don't think it'd be comfortable. Why is she just sitting on that throne all the
She
time?
doesn't have a TV to watch or anything. She's just sitting there, not doing anything.
So apparently, she was definitely up for going to Mandalore and rescuing Din Djarin.
Yeah, so it's interesting. And now she has the dark saber because this creature
No, he has it back.
captured it. Well, she
Yeah.
gets it because the creature had thrown it out. He basically disarmed him, and it looked like it's sort of like a spider in a web. It's injected him with something that put him out, and I don't know what its plans were. It's starting to transfuse his blood. I don't know. I didn't get what that creature was,
No.
but it had a lot of resources, and I gotta think that creature would probably, maybe is it trapped there? It seems like a very smart creature, but anyway, it's trapped somehow in these bowels of
You're
the
talking about
city.
that Krang creature?
Yes. I don't know why it's there. First I thought it was like old mining equipment or something.
I'm looking up on my.
And that it sprung to life and thought he was a rock to mine or something, but it's
What?
actually like an alien that's inhabiting a robot. Anyway, I don't know why it's there, but it's dangerous. Anyway, and in the end, he doesn't realize it's a deep pool. They don't have the depth markings.
No. Yeah, he goes for his bath, and then he takes a plunge
And
unexpectedly.
it's like a 80-foot drop or
And
something.
she has to go and save him.
He doesn't realize there's no
he
depth
got
markings.
pulled under by that creature. What the hell
No,
was that
but there
creature?
was no, when he stood, I don't even think he didn't get pulled under. I think he just sunk because it just drops. There's
No, I think
like,
it grabbed him.
He's got armor on. He's sunk to the bottom. She had to go down and pull him back up again. He didn't realize that it's a deep end.
I didn't know it was so deep.
Yeah, anyway, and he sinks. The creature is there, but they described that creature was tamed by a long time ago.
They see it as she's flying out
It
rescuing
doesn't try to
them.
hurt them. Yeah, he just doesn't realize. He's not used to swimming, I suppose. You do have to know if there's a drop or not when you're swimming. I guess he didn't ask. But she also didn't tell him either, so I don't know. Maybe previously it had more of a shoal, but it's like a 90-foot, 100-foot drop or something there.
Yeah. So there's this giant creature down there. I don't know what the hell that is. But since you mentioned the Darksaber, I wasn't going to bring this up, but on Twitter this week, I was just searching for it, but I couldn't find the right one. Someone asked if people would want to see a story about the guy who made that Darksaber.
Right.
The first Mandalorian Jedi named Ter Vizsla, which we have heard that name before, I believe, in Clone Wars.
Is he the guy that also tamed this creature? Because they said there was a guy that tamed this giant creature that lives down there.
I don't know.
The creature's all by itself down there. It's really lonesome. Anyway, I don't know, but it's all interesting, this Mandalorian stuff. I find it interesting, and what we see though in this episode is important. The Bo-Katan sees and remembers the way, because she was of the ruling house, and she really has no kind of patience.
She did rule briefly.
Yeah,
Mandalore. She mentioned this after her sister was killed. Sistine.
Basically, it's gone up. Mandalorians have gone up into different areas, and he's in this very strict group, and she kind of saw that as like pageantry or like something just for display for the citizens.
She has a lot of hard feelings towards him, and a lot of hatred towards him, toward Din Djarin, because the Mandalorian sect that he belongs to is an offshoot of the Death Watch clan, which she fought against and was partly responsible for the fall of Mandalore. But we saw in Clone Wars, right?
But she also remembers, like,
they're the people. Apparently, they've now decided you're not allowed to take your helmet off. But back then, the Death Watch, they were taking their helmets off all the time.
The thing was that her father died and fought for Mandalore, and when he's telling the story, and she's realizing, I've thought of all this stuff as just like pageantry, but she's realizing, people really do put their faith in it. It's their religion, and it seems like she's putting more reverence into it. When he says this is the way, when she says her father fought and died for the planet, basically. Anyway, it seems like she's realizing that.
You think she's starting to get really patriotic for her homeworld, and she's going to take it back?
But she's very cynical, and she's been saying all that stuff is just hooey, right? It's almost like someone saying, I believe in ghosts, and she says, oh, that stuff is hooey, right? It's sort of like that, and she's realizing that this is actually her culture and her heritage, and I think she might be, I don't know, more open to it.
Well, we're supposed to see a whole bunch of Mandalorians later on, and we got the idea from the trailer that it was mostly going to be about Mandalore.
Right.
Although, are they going to go back to Mandalore? Because I'm pretty sure they're leaving there right now.
If they're looking for armor, there's a whole lot of it on the planet. All the dead Mandalorians, we see a whole bunch of their armor all just strewn all on the ground. There's a lot of...
Not all of that is Beskar, though.
No, but there's a lot of it.
Some is deteriorated.
So if they need some of it, it's there.
Maybe he'll go back to the Death Watch cult there, and he'll be like, okay, here's my selfie that I took of me swimming in the waters.
Well, Bo-Katan,
because he has to bring back proof. So I just figured he'd take a selfie. He'd jump in the pool, wearing nothing but his helmet, and then take a selfie. Be like, hey, here's proof I was.
Yeah, maybe he's got to get
I was in the water there.
Bo-Katan to come and say, yes, I had to rescue the guy because he didn't realize that it was like 100 feet deep. He's
kind of dumb, and he was wearing 100 pounds of armor.
You do sink. Anyway, he's not a swimmer. He didn't grow up at a school with a pool or anything.
That's only the second episode.
He grew up on a moon in kind of harsh conditions, so I don't think there was a lot of swimming in his past.
That was only the second episode.
It was, wasn't it? It seems like a lot so far. A lot. And anyway, it was quite interesting. And of course, the Baby Yoda came to the rescue and zoomed out of there, and he gets really interesting. We see the Baby Yoda really scared in this episode, and he's more like a kid in this episode, like how he gets really scared and he doesn't know if he should keep on going. He's saying more. He's like making more noises like a baby would, but he gets really scared in this episode, so that was interesting. Even though he's the most powerful being.
Maybe.
around. Well, what he can do, and he does use his powers in this episode and throws like one of those creatures like 50 feet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And he didn't pass out this time.
no, he's not. He's better at it. He mastered it. It seems.
We know that we're gonna see flashbacks to the Jedi in Coruscant there.
Oh, are we?
With
Yeah.
the fall of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. It was in the
Oh.
trailer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that came out months ago. So we're gonna be seeing some of that stuff.
Mm.
Man.
Anyway,
this show
it was
is really good.
interesting. I enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, they didn't go all out of places. They just were in one place mainly for the episode, but it was really
The
interesting.
stuff about Mandalore is really interesting, and I like how they're expanding more of. They're actually expanding the Star Wars universe,
Right,
because
and-
we're getting to see this time period after Return of the Jedi, where the Empire has fallen,
Right.
and he's kind of going around. The Republic is there, but they're not fully established yet.
It also showed that you really need a droid in this universe.
Well, you always need a droid. That's
He
how they're able to
He hasn't been
calculate
using a droid though.
the hyperdrive
He
coordinates.
hasn't been using a droid, and he gets is it D4 or D5, and he gets them.
D5, D4, I think it was.
And it's a good thing. Anyway,
It's a great episode. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely better than the first one for me.
yeah,
You're really enjoying this as
Yeah.
well? You're still on board for this show?
yeah, I'm enjoying it. Fluffy's chasing her
Fluffy's
own tail,
chasing her tail here.
which she doesn't really do.
Is anyone out there enjoying Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3 so far? What are your thoughts on it? Good or
Yeah.
bad? If there's something you didn't like in it, go ahead and let us know down in the comments below.